Thank you, Rich. That was a nice introduction. Feel like it. As Rich was saying, I'm Roberto Cesar, so I work for MAF for about 17 years. So I'm going to talk about a bit about so a bit about the work that I've been doing with Aldabra tortoises on Round and Ilozegret. But a bit of story to start. So Mauritius had two species of giant tortoises, endemic, which is now extinct. The Cylindraspis inepta and Tricerata was a key herbivore to Mauritius, modulating the plant community structure through grazing and trampling. Dispersed it and played an important role in the nutrient cycling of the island. So many studies have documented the impact of species extinction, decline in native species population, and impact of non-native species on Mauritius ecosystem function. With the tortoise extinct, we have lost many ecosystem interaction, such as dispersal and trampling. And because of that, Mauritius ecosystem function had left with a gap, which had been like a huge misfortune for the island. So sorry. So we've been working on Ilozegret and Ilron. So actually, Ilozegret was we focused our restoration effort on Van Allen and Ilozegret because it was the most preserved ecosystem and home for different endemic species of Mauritius. So Van Allen is a 219 hectare basaltic volcanic island, which is totally different from Ilozegret, which is a 26 hectare coralline island. So we first did so on both of these islands, we've been introducing Aldabra tortoises as ecological analogs to restore the lost plant herbivores interaction. So the first introduction was done on Ilozegret. So between the years 2000 and 2011, actually, we had been introducing 26 tortoises. There were tortoises before for on the island for pen trial. But after that, we brought tortoises from donation, and actually there were 26 to be free roaming on the island around 2004. And we started to see a positive impact on the plant community on Ilozegret when the tortoises were introduced. So this is actually a picture of seedling of ebony tree in the dome of a tortoise, which is actually fascinating. I like this picture. I took that picture like months ago just to show you the impact that tortoises do on plant community. And this is just not the ebony tree in that pile, it's just a lot of bois de rat, you can see. And due to research, we found out that the introduction of tortoises, Aldabra tortoises on Ilozegret actually improved the seed dispersal and improved seedling improvement success in the critically endangered ebony tree. And if you get the chance to go to Ilozegret, you will see this kind of scene. This is actually a patch of ebony tree seedling growing like on Ilozegret. Actually 1 meter, 1 meter square of ebony seedling growing on Ilozegret, and this is everywhere. So Ilozegret have a very successful breeding population from the 26 tortoises that have been introduced on the island. So we actually 14 female and 12 male. So this is the tortoise from our enclosure. We can actually find like 7 to 100 hatchling on the island per year, but we can find more. So in the enclosure, actually, it's very large enclosure. We don't put them in small enclosure. I know because they are stressed to be in smaller areas. So this is why the enclosure like separate pen in it where different side of structure of age for the tortoises. So actually this told us about it told us about 3 months from this year actually. As you can see, we focus a lot on welfare of tortoises. So even if it's rain, it's sunny, we always give food. And actually, this is one of my colleagues giving morinda leaves to a tortoises, which they like actually. I don't know why, but they love that leaves. And we give also supplementary feeding, which is comprised of carrot and pumpkins. And actually, we use cuttlebone fish calcium great in that supplementary food just for them to get a bit of calcium so not to lose their weight and stuff. Sorry. So what our tortoises are marked? It's very important for us to individually mark our tortoise because we use that. We need to monitor each individual monthly. So we use a method with beekeeper pens, which normally originally used by beekeepers to mark queen bees. So it is a non-toxic pen which we use on the small tortoises to actually mark them. It's a combination. So this tortoise would actually be Y, W, J, and R in the database where we put it. So we need actually to ID them so that we do our monthly morphometrics that we do each month. So we take the carapace length, the plastron length, and we wave them. So all of this information will be used in our tortoise condition calculator, which we use to actually assess the condition of a tortoise to know if it's underweight or overweight. If it's significantly underweight, we use to give it the additional care that it will need. So these tortoises actually will be growing in the enclosure for about 2 years before being translocated to round. And before translocating any tortoises to an area or to any different area, we need to do some process before, like disease screening and deworming. It's very important because the reason behind this is that we don't want to translocate any unhealthy tortoises or sick tortoises to Rhode Island because we have a lot of species there also. We don't want to be infected by any virus or disease. As you can see in the picture, this is the graph. This is the series of translocation that I've been doing for the years. So we started in 2007. So this 11 that you see in the picture is actually a pen trial to assess the impact on vegetation. This was in relation with Christine Griffin, PhD, actually. This is because after that we started to introducing translocating more tortoises on round, and our last translocation was in 2017. So in total, we translocated since 2007 691 tortoises on round. I don't know what's happening.
Nor do I.
Maybe do I.
Let's just say okay.
Okay, so cool. So this is a picture of a last translocation that we did in 2017. So before every translocation, we need to do that process of cleaning tortoises. So every single tortoise will be cleaned, wiped. So every fecal sample actually will be taken off the crates that you see in the picture and go for screening again. And so prior to this, I told you in the previous slide, we need to do deworming, disease cleaning, nasal swabs, and blood sampling for any blood disease. And after all the clear, so a day of changeovers, the cleaning and all the fecals have been removing, we'll do the translocation after that. Even when getting on the island, we will need to actually do the same thing, cleaning, taking fecal sample from the crate. And then after that, they will be put in an enclosure where we'll be quarantining for about 1 month. And if they are clear, they will be released on the island near Wallow, located on different spot on the island. There we go. So every single tortoises that have been translocated in 2017 to 2007, 2017 have been picked up with a microchip. So it's very important for us to identify each and every tortoises that we translocate on the island, because we have our monitoring that we do every month with surveys, observations, fecal observations. So we need to identify every single tortoise in order to put them in a database. This is everyone knows it's a reader that actually read the PICTAC number, which is unique number. So this is a graph of the number of tortoises that have been PICTAG through the years. So between 2010 and 2017, that was only the translocated one. So between 2018, we started to PICTAG the tortoise in the wild, so hatchlings. So, but the first hatchling that had been sighted was in 2016, but it was too small to PICTAG, because we have a size more than 10 centimeters to PICTAG a tortoise. Below that, we just leave them in the wild until they got bigger, and then we'll PICTAG them. Because the population on ground had grown naturally, this is where the translocation had stopped. We see the need translocation around until I think around 2017. Yes, there was a last time that was translocation in on round. So we use POPN model in MARC to track the abundance of microchip tortoises and the appearance survival of them over time. So this actually will be important to survey it over time. So actually I had PICTAG some tortoises in 2023, but haven't put it in here because we're not still the end of the year, so maybe next time. So yeah, this translocation has ceased and in 2017, but we need to actually assess the genetic structure of the population against what we have in Mauritius in order to maybe augment the population in the future. They just nothing. So this actually, so we track the condition of a tortoise to ensure that they are healthy, and also determine the age structure of each and every one. So a tortoise actually with a pastron of 50 centimeter, greater than 50 centimeter, will be considered as an adult. And actually, I think that maybe 90% of the tortoises on the island could be adult, because when they were translocated, they were actually 2 years old or 5 years old. They have been like a long time since we are 2023, so we've been like 20 years old or 25, maybe 40% of them. And this is the range distribution on round. This is actually the mixed weeds. So mixed weeds is a place that they all actually clustered around, because it is a very flat and open area. So we just like to move around there just to eat. And this is the wasteland, and this is just in front of the fish station, the helipad. So actually, this is a map. So I've done this survey over 3 months. 3 months of survey. This is the range of tortoises. So you see this, they're clustered in the mixed weed. It actually don't move that far. The one which is on the summit actually is only bigger ones. That was really here, but the time they got there and stayed there for a long time, they just get fat, and you can find a way to get back. That's incredible. But there's some of the tortoises, some very let's say not giant tortoises, could actually move on the island from far away. I had one which is named Quasimodo, which is a female, which is a bit deformed, but she has found a way to move from the field station up to the summit all the time. I have lost her for about 1 year at a point, and she was on the summit, and she took a route, but I don't know. So it was this very strange tortoises movement. So we have worked a lot with universities. We have worked with Swansea University on movement ecology, and Zurich University also. So we were using daily diaries to tag tortoises to actually examine the energetic of how and where tortoises go. And they were doing also using VHF units to track tortoises. Oh no. To track tortoises in order to see the dispersability of them. Okay, this is a drone picture that the Zurich University student done on the Round Island. So you see, as you can see, this is the east of the island actually. You can see the swimming pool here. A lot of people know that. And this is actually the fish station here in the summit. This is very difficult for sometimes for tourists just to move away from, to move back and forth in that environment. So I'm going to talk briefly on Rosemary Gan PhD. So she was doing her PhD on metabolic coding to actually assess the impact and the interaction of tortoises on Mauritius Island. So she investigated the dietary preferences of tortoises on the plant community and the knock-on effect on two species of endemic to Mauritius, so the tail-faced king and the pig pigeon. So she found out that actually tortoises altered the plant community structure by actually cropping exotic and native vegetation, which actually is a good thing because this kind of engineering structure to vegetation actually indicates that they create and maintain tortoise zone in open areas, and which is actually good for the biodiversity. So for the two species of tailfares and pigeon, so they were just exhibiting preference for exotic plants, which actually they don't actually eat that much native trees. So she uses the novel primer to analyze the dietary of these three species, and actually she conclude that maybe in the future just to maybe increase the variance of native species that these two preferred. Okay, let's see. So I'm gonna have Abdelhajmet and thanks to Moaf and Joel for their collaboration for the years, and also National Park and my team in working with me for the years. And you see a couple of faces here in the audience. And thankful for them, thank to them to have having me for the years with the project. Question?
Very good.